Pipe. Oh, it's so stupid. Alright, anyways, welcome back to Getting to Green. My name is Kevin, and today I want to talk about some pipe hype. Alright, so I don't know if you've heard about this new pipe operator, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to work with. So I wanted to make a quick video about the pipe operator and kind of show you different things that are available to us. So let me see if I can pull this up really quickly. Here we go. So let's open this up. All right. So this is the proposal for the pipeline operator. So currently there's two proposals out there. There's the hack version, and then there's the F# version. But essentially they work very similarly, but we're going to jump down here to look at what we're doing. So this is going to be the pipe operator. This is what it would look like. And so it's like a little pipe signature and then a greater than. And what it's going to do, it's going to pass this percent sign as the value here. This is going to make more sense down here. So here's a real world example. This is from React. And we're console logging, and we're doing this chalk dim, and we're passing, it looks like some kind of string, and yeah, that string ends down here, and we're passing it, so we have these envars and all of this stuff. So this is kind of messy. Now imagine coming back to this after a few months and being like, oh, I forgot to do something, and then having to go through this and being like, what did I write? What is this? And I mean, this is genius. This is from React. It's really good in what it's doing, and it's very, it gets the job done, But it's kind of hard to parse. It's hard to understand what's going on, and there's a lot going on here. So to see what this would look like, let's go down here, a little bit more real world examples. So again, this is that same stuff we looked at above, but this is what the pipe operator could look like. Again, we're starting with the envars. Instead of being deep inside here and we're getting the object keys on our third line, we're starting there. This is what this is about. It's the envars, the environment variables. We're going to map through them. We're going to turn them into some kind of a string, interpolate of them, right? And then join all of them together. So yeah, it's a map, so it's an array. Join them all with a space, and then we're going to pass it in and interpolate again into a new string with this $, and then a $, in these parentheses, and then this is actually everything that this did. So this is that variable. It's the unnamed variable, all right? So then we pass it again through another pipe, and now it's going through chalk dim, which it's getting that string we just gave it, and then a string of node, and then a string that's put together from all the different arguments that we don't see here, but it doesn't really matter. And then finally we console log that entire thing. Whatever this returns to us, we console log that. Now this is cool. This is exciting, I think it looks awesome, and it's easy to read, right? We're ending where we want to end. It reads better. Like, here's where we start, and here's where we end. And all the stuff that happens in the middle happens where it should be happening, instead of here where it's happening at the top. This is our final thing that we're doing, and then we're just kind of, we are inside of this, which could be considered a pipe. But it's just hard to read. It's hard to parse. And if you're new to JavaScript, I guess if you're new to JavaScript, both of these things probably aren't going to mean anything to you. You're going to be, what the hell am I looking at? Either way. But it's really cool. So there's some more real world examples. So pretty much you can achieve this. This is what this is saying right now, is that you could put it in, you could save everything into these these variables, that you're never going to use again. You're going to assign it. You have a const and var string. You're going to go through your object keys. You're going to map. You're going to join them. Then you're going to take that string and you're going to make a new console text out of that string. And then you're going to, that's what this is. And then, and then you have your colored text, which is another thing that's from the chalk. And then you're going to finally console log that. So you had these 3 different things you had to name. And naming things are hard. We don't want to do that. So, with this percentage sign, it's just worked. It's just nice. I'm sure there's more examples down here. Yeah, you can set it to something that you constantly are updating. Again, yeah, it's possible, but whatever. So I think having it through the pipes just looks cleaner. It reads nicer. I get what it says, So out of all this curiosity and seeing all this stuff run, I wanted to go in and create something where I could start using something similar on my own. It's obviously not going to look as good, but I wanted to start somewhere. So we have right here, and we can see, we can see most of that text. Anyways, so we have, don't want to go to that yet. So we have our pipe class. This is something I created. It's a class called pipeline. And you're going to have a value, and then you're going to have these pipes that are going through this. It's just an array of this, which a function that returns. It's just an array of functions, essentially, right? So then we have a function here called send, which we're going to give it the value. We set that value up here, and then we return this, which is returning the rest of the class so we can do some chaining. Then we have our next function, which is through, which this, we're going to give the array here. We're going to give all the pipelines, and we're going to push these up into our pipes, and then we're going to handle everything. And this is the final bit of this, and this is just going to go through. It's going to set a variable to result. It's going to go through. It's going to update that result with all the different functions, right? And then it's going to return that function. And we could see this working here in our pipe test. So we would say, we want this new pipeline, and we're going to send in this old man. And we have a couple extra spaces. It's lowercase. It says old. So the first thing we want to do is do a string replacer, which we're going to replace the word old with the word new, right? We do stuff like this a lot with replacers. Sometimes we'll do something like that, so we know that it's supposed to be replaced, or whatever we want it to be. I just made it a simple string. Then we have this function string to upper, which just uppercases the first letter of the whole string, which could be named better, but that's not the important part, right? And then we have a double space replacer, which actually replaces all the extra spaces, so it should be called extra space replacer. Again, it doesn't matter. They're just random functions I made just to show this off. So we expect x to equal this new man. So the capital letter, so that's here. And we have new instead of old, and we have one space here instead of the 2. That's all we're doing, and you can see it reads pretty well. I think it's fine, right? You have, where you start, and then you're going to see everything that it runs through, and this works, right? You'd have to create functions or whatever, and those functions are here. You'll be able to look at this file. I'll leave it in the description. But, right, so you have your string replacer. It takes a searcher and a replacer. Again, bad at naming things. But it's obvious what you're doing. And then essentially it's a function that returns a function. And it's going to check if it's a string. If not, it's going to give you the next function or just the value. And then at the end, we're just replacing everything, which is, you know, we're just doing that, which is a really simple way to do it. And then we have string to upper, which is just, you know, the same thing up here. And then we have it's splitting everything, and then it's shifting. And that first one that it gets, it's going to put to uppercase, and then it's going to join the rest of the parts. So shift removes the first one, uppercases it, and then we concatenate the rest of it. And then double space just replaces all of the space. This is just a, what is that, a regex? Yeah. And it just replaces it with a single space. So again, could be written a little differently, but it's fine. And we have tests for all of those replacers. We have nested describes, and each of these have tests in them. So again, you could go through this and look at what we're doing here. So this is that pipeline. That works. This is something I rolled on my own. It's nothing really that fancy. It is what it is. But we also have this pipe function. And this was created by this guy, Eric Elliott. And I left a link to his Medium page where this was found. And he goes through how to work on this and everything. So I won't go too crazy into that, but I'll show you. It takes a bunch of functions and it breaks them up, turns them into like an array of functions, right? And it takes the value and it just runs reduce. So it's going to take all those functions, which is an array, and it's going to reduce through them. It's going to take the current value, which we pass here, value, right? And then it's going to send it through the current function, which is the first function, run that current function on the current value. And that's all this is doing. Very simple. I found this later, so I was pretty impressed. My pipeline class is 28, probably less than that, probably 23 lines, and this pipe is is 6 lines of code. So really cool, and it does the same exact thing. If we go back to pipe, we can see here, this is how this would work. So we have our pipe. We're going to give it all of the functions that we want to do, which are the same exact ones as up here, and we're going to pass it the string, this old man. And I even gave it even more spaces just to prove the other thing works. It's not important. And then we expect X, which is here, to be this new man. And it all works. See? All my tests passing. So, but what this could look like, I'm going to uncomment this and everything's going to start breaking and everything. But this is what this could look like. So we have this old man. We have that replacer. We're going to replace old with new. We could do all here. Then we would split all of those strings. That's what we were doing before with class. We could actually, and then we shift, we go to uppercase, and then we can even do this where we would then replace all. I don't know how to spell, but it doesn't matter. Everything's going to throw an error anyway. And this would be our global space 2 comma this. And that is our regex, however you want to say it. And we just create a space. And that would be exactly the same thing. I think this is way cooler. You start with your value and you just keep going through. And it just reads nicer. So I'm excited about it. What we could also do is, I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to turn this off. What we could do is, let's see, we have our string replacer, and we would say old, new. And then we would pipe it through here. So this should actually just take that function as it is. If not, I think you could do it here where it would be like that. But I think it just automatically understands that it's supposed to be there. Again, we're going to find out when it's all live and going for us. And this will be up, and we'll come back to this and revisit it. And then we had, what did we have? We had string to upper. And then we had our double space replacer. And this would do exactly the same thing. I keep saying the exact same thing, but everything is the same. We just do it a slightly different way. And it's just awesome. It's just really cool. You know, imagine coming into something like this in a project. I instantly know what you're doing, what it's doing, you know. This, you'd have to hunt these things down to know what they're doing. But again, that's functions. You got to do it anyway. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Are you guys excited about the pipe operator, or you just don't care? I personally, I'm just super stoked. But all right, that's it for me today. I can't think of anything else to talk about aside from the hack and F# thing, but you should look that up on your own because they're very similar. And I've already taken up some of your time, so that's it. All right, well, if you liked this video, if you enjoyed it, thumbs up. Didn't like it? YouTube stuff. Like, thumbs up, down, subscribe, bells, notifications. You know, you do you. Anyways, until next time, cheers.